Hello, my name is Fiona. I'm from ShiFio Patterns. Today I'm going to show you how to make the base cocoon for the Owl Cocoon Pattern. We will be using double knitting yarn. We've used this baby bonus double knitting yarn for this cocoon. It's in baby mint. I've also used a 4mm crochet hook. And the tension for this project is 9 trebles by 4 rows to 5 centimeters. Please also always check your gauge. You don't want to go through all that work and find out it's too big or it's too small. So we're going to start with 34 chain, leaving a long tail at the start for sewing up at the end. So now that we've done that, for round 1 we are going to do 1 double crochet into the second chain from hook, and then 1 double crochet into each chain to end. So you should have 33 stitches, and I always like to count my stitches at the end of the row, as I have got quite far into a project and realised I've missed one stitch somewhere and it's all out. So I'm just going to go ahead and count that here right now. You should have 33 stitches. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the beginning double crochet, and then we're going to start round 2, which is 1 chain and 2 double crochet into each stitch until the end. Okay, so that's us completing round 2, and you should have 66 stitches in total. Before I slip stitch to join, again I'm going to count the stitches to make sure I have 66. So you should have 66 stitches, and you slip stitch into the top of the beginning double crochet, and as you can see there is a gap at the bottom. When I designed this cocoon, I didn't want to start with a solid circle expanding. I wanted it to be more ruffled at the bottom, and this is why I've done it this way. And at the end we will sew through each of the original chain and pull it tight to close the gap. This bit here. So now going on to round 3, we start with 3 chain, or you can do an invisible 3 chain that just makes it look a bit neater. So I'll show you how to do that. So first of all you do 1 chain, then you do double crochet, then you insert your hook between the 2 loops right there, yarn over hook and pull through, then yarn over hook and pull through again. It just has a much neater edge to it. it's also good when you're slip stitching at the end of the row. So round 3 is 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, then 2 trebles into the next 2 stitches, get some yarn, and 1 treble into the next stitch. So you repeat 2 trebles into the next 2 stitches and 1 treble into the next stitch. Until the end. This pattern actually started off as a doorstop. My son was very small, so I actually designed this quite some years ago now. He's now 10, and I needed something to keep the door open. And I was really popular at the time, so I decided to design a little doorstop. And so I was designing this little doorstop, and I realised that it would be great for a baby cocoon, because baby cocoons were becoming really popular. So I put the doorstop down, and I think I bought one in the end, and I put it into a cocoon. And I actually, the first pattern, the actual first size I made it in was like beiges and greens, very kind of forest colours, and it was okay. I quite liked it. And then I made it in whites and pinks. If you want to see the photos, they're on our website, or I might put a couple at the end of the video. And then I had to put it away because we moved house and there was lots going on. And then one day I showed it to a family member, and she said, "Oh, that's beautiful, you know, you should really put that out as a pattern." So I made it in the green, so that I had all 3 sizes made, so I could take lots of nice photos. And we put it out for sale, and it's been very, very popular. Very popular pattern, especially the green colour. We've had lots of people ask what yarn it is and what the actual colour is. So now you know what colour. Baby Mint by Hayfield. Okay, so now that's round 3 done. So again, before I slip stitch into the top of the beginning 3 chain, if that's what you've done, or my little invisible 3 chain, I'm just going to count the stitches. So you should have 110 stitches. That's easier to say than 66 stitches. And we've done 3 rounds. It's a bit ruffly at the bottom, but it will flatten out, believe me. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain or the invisible 3 chain, depending on which you've done. It's a lot easier to slip stitch into the top of the invisible 3 chain. Just closes the gap better as well. So now we're going to start on round 4, which is 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, depending on which you want to do. So again, you just make your double crochet, pop your hook in between the 2 loops, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through. Then it's 1 treble into each stitch until the end, and then you slip stitch into the top of the beginning 3 chain. Okay, so now we've done round 4. We're going to repeat it 31 more times. So that's 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, 1 treble into each stitch to end, and slip stitch into the top of the beginning 3 chain. And this is what you will end up with, or this is what I've made earlier. And as you can see, the seam goes up the back. It looks a lot neater than using a 3 chain, because I've used the invisible 3 chain, but you can still see it. So what we're going to do is break the yarn and turn it over, so that's nice and neat at the front. Then we're going to fold it in 2, and then we're going to insert the hook into the left stitch of the middle. And then we'll rejoin our yarn. And then for row 1 of the split, we are going to start with 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, and then we're going to do a treble 2 together, and then 1 treble into each stitch until the last 3 stitches. So stop when you get to the last 3 stitches. I'm going to stop here for a moment. I hate sewing ends. I really hate sewing the ends. So what I like to do is I catch a hold of my yarn that I'm using at the moment, and I catch a hold of this yarn, as you can see, and I kind of lie it across the back of the stitches and hold it with my finger. And then when I'm making my treble, I catch the yarn, I don't know if you can see this, I catch the yarn along the top here. And make my treble. See, there's the yarn there. It's sitting along the top of my stitches there. That way I don't have to sew in. Haha. So when you get to the last 3 stitches, you're going to treble 2 together, and then you're going to do 1 treble into the last stitch. So now you can, if you want, turn and work backwards, and that's okay, but because we have done it in rounds, it's all the stitches are facing in one direction, and as you can see, there is a difference between the back of the stitches and the front of the stitches there. So, having told you how much I hate sewing in ends, I still like it all to look uniform, so I break the yarn and then I rejoin the yarn to the top of the beginning 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, depending on what you've done, from row 1. So I'll just rejoin my yarn. And then for row 2, you do a 3 chain or invisible 3 chain, and then 1 treble into each stitch until the end. Okay, so we're finishing row 2, and we're going to repeat row 2 6 more times and then sew in all the ends. And you can turn and go backwards if you wish, or keeping it uniform, you can break the yarn and rejoin it to the top of the first 3 chain of the row below. Okay, so I've completed the 6 rows of 3 chain, 1 treble into each stitch to end. So that's 8 rows in total for the split, and I've sewed in all the ends. And now we're going to close up this gap. So we're going to turn the cocoon inside out, and then we're going to close up the gap from the beginning row. Then we're going to sew in and around the original chain from the start, the original 33 chain, and then pull it as I'm going along to close up the gap. And then when we get to the end, we sew in the end securely. Okay, I'll pull it in. Just sew up the end. I will be doing the rest of the pattern, so the eyes, the beak, the wings, etc. on separate videos. And hopefully I will be posting the links below. I have my trusty embroidery scissors. I think these are good for getting really close in. Voila. See? Isn't that cute? Bottom to the cocoon. There we go, that's the basic cocoon finished for the 0 to 3 month size. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.